Welcome to another episode of Journal of the Scots. This is the book club, so you're automatically subscribed since you hit the button and are watching. This is episode 21, and while I've been promising for many weeks that eventually it'll be a book, the problem is this week, in honor of training camp opening up and me also kind of looking through things and looking for things to sell to convert into the plastic brick, I decided to kind of crack out and go through and kind of enjoy, and this is a fun little ride for you sports fans out there. I know this is mainly Lego, but who knows, it could turn into a Lego conversation. But with that, the first item up, and this is just, I tell you, this is the glory days of my UFC fandom. I have not been watching lately, but in the past I was really heavily into UFC. Literally I went to about six or seven live events, even went to some local MMA events and regional events. I was watching Ultimate Fighter. I was watching pretty much every pay-per-view. I used to just run across the street when I lived in the city, go to a bar and watch it like every Saturday night. So my wife was like, she'd come home from work and be like tired, or she'd do whatever with friends, and then I was like, hey, at like 10 o'clock at night, I'm just gonna cruise over and so no big deal. She was just gonna watch a movie and go to sleep, so I was watching UFC fights. So with that, one of the things that I did is I went to the Ohio Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, and it was a huge one where it was Tim Sylvia versus Randy Couture. And so before that, though, actually no, I take it back. This was the one after that, where it was Anderson the Spider Silva was fighting Rich Franklin, and so that was a pretty insane fight. And of course the history is that he lost, unfortunately, but we were cheering for him. But when we were there, we were able to get autographs. It was kind of like being a little kid again. And one of the things is we were able to meet the UFC ring girls. So Rochelle Lee, I think is her name, and she actually signed this copy of Stuff magazine. So, and what was funny about this is that they gave you a copy, and then you also got a free subscription. So I had a subscription to Stuff magazine, which was kind of fun back in the day because I would take the bus. And so reading magazines and stuff like that on the way to work was a great way to do things. You either, read, they had a newspaper, or I would read different Stuff magazines. And actually part of Stuff magazine, it was almost more the advertisements, or they had like different gear spots where they would talk about like the latest cell phones, or they would talk about the latest Bluetooth speakers or whatever, or they have like a whole clothing section. They would have like their recommended liquor of the week, and just all these different cool things. Like the writing in this was fantastic, and so now I've got a signed copy. I don't know if I'll keep it. Again, this is April 2007, so that's such a long time ago. But that was really fun. Then I discovered inside of this that I had both Kenny Florian. Here, let me see if I can showcase that. Ken Flo himself. That's how he signed his name. So they had these little things you could sign. I think somewhere I've got my picture with Kenny Florian. And then Keith Jardine, we actually partied with him for a short period. We went to a bar, partied with him. He was a lot of fun. And then I've got a really good picture somewhere of myself and Anderson Silva as well. So I've met him a couple times, and obviously he is a legend in the game. So that's pretty fun. I totally forgot because I was in the UFC fan club, and we lined up early, like literally like hours and hours. This is before the weigh-ins. Actually, I think, was it the day before the weigh-ins? I don't know. I don't remember. It was just part of a whole experience. We got into lines for hours. Then we got our picture taken, and then they would sign these and give them away. So it was really fantastic. So then next up that I found in my little sports memorabilia was my Chicago Marathon. This is part of my my packet, my welcome, the official program. for those who don't know, I have run a couple different marathons. So I've run 2 marathons. I don't have any plans to do any in the future, although it's very possible that I kind of get up the energy and will that either by the time or maybe shoot for doing one at the age of 50 just as a fun accomplishment. As you get to 50, you have to prove yourself that you're still an athlete. So I'm still doing pickleball and I'm doing other things, but I'm currently not training, which is a little bit of a bummer. But, some of it is just getting the energy to kind of go through the training of it, and doing it right is definitely not easy. So there we go. That is the Chicago Marathon. I should have had it signed by like a pro runner or anything like that, but I don't know. Then the other one is that I kind of had this, I kind of, anything with Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre, I have, definitely when I get the magazines and stuff like that, I try to keep them. This is definitely some fun little nostalgic history. This was from, let's see. Oh, wow, this is 2013. So this is probably one of the years I'm assuming he did really well. And it's so funny. They have in here, I think this is the year after RG3 decided to play even though he was hurt. The whole 9 yards. So lots of funny stuff. Then I got a special commemorative issue of Brett Favre on the Sports Illustrated. That was pretty cool. And, it's just, I don't even think I've read any of this. And this is from, this is 2015, I think, is when this came out. So that's pretty wild. So it's really not that long ago, 7 years. So I think my parents got me this. Which is kind of funny. So my parents are still in Green Bay. The other thing is that I am a Packer fan, and I'm also a shareholder, and so this is my shareholder program. I have gone to the shareholder meeting at least once. Yeah, it's just one time. Here you go, the tickets. Oh, I went in 2013. And I still have my shareholder tickets. This actually has like how much money they made in 2013 because you're actual shareholder. So in here it says, "To our shareholders, we express our sincere appreciation to the residents of Brown County shareholders, season ticket holders, employees, fans everywhere, customers, suppliers, friends for your support and loyalty. You contribute significantly to the success of the Green Bay Packers. If there was a better story in professional sports, it is yet to be written." And this is back in 2013, so it's nuts. "Please enjoy this opportunity to tour the new South End and North Loft." So they had built this. They had really did a huge reconstruction job on the Lambeau Field. To this point, it's pretty unbeatable because they kept the nostalgia of the bench or the bench seating, but then they redid everything so that just make it a really phenomenal experience, and it's unbelievable. The concourses are so much better. It's kind of like going, if you think of a lot of the arenas. And then you have the nostalgia of an old school stadium. It's unbelievable, and there's not a bad seat in the house compared to some other stadiums that I've been to. It says, so do your self-guided tours via stadium steps, ramps, stairwells, and elevators, and go through the south and north end of the stadium where you will see tour entrance areas. Thanks, Green Bay Packers. Welcome to Lambeau Field for the Green Bay Packers annual meeting of the shareholders, which was pretty fun. They really do a lot to hype you up. They put up these big video montages of the previous season, and then then they do one to kind of get you ready for the next season. So it's so funny. They had in here, so at 11 a.m., so you kind of get there, everybody's talking Packers, because again, this is right before the start of training camp, which is pretty insane. Then they do the meeting, they do opening comments, they do the national anthem. This is a real production. They do football report, a president's report, the treasurer. It starts to get kind of boring. For those who are in finance, probably care about that kind of stuff. They do a foundation report. Then they do the communicate. Then they do a closing remarks. What else here? Oh, they do a full football report. So and then it ends at it ended probably noon to 12:30. So it's an hour and a half program of stuff, and it's just so funny. And then they do self-guided tours that you got to kind of do things, and then you open things up to the general public and go from there. So pretty insane. A lot of fun events. So then here I've got a magazine of Brett Favre, who's the Sportsman of the Year. So this is all like, coffee table material. Let's see. Here's another one. Oh, the official 2007 yearbook of the Green Bay Packers. Look at that. This must have been like a holiday gift or something. I don't really remember. I don't remember any of this. So, Mike McCarthy was the coach. Oh man. All these. It's pretty insane. Here they've got the schedule. Oh, this is the... No, okay. Huh. Did they have a good year this year? Yeah, I think they did. They smoked it this year. So, I don't really remember exactly, but yeah, so I've got a yearbook. And then, of course, sometimes you will catch me probably, I would say almost every year I go to at least a game, either at Lambeau Field or I'm living in greater Chicago area. So, Packers and Bears. One thing I did discover, I just kind of shoved this in here, is I have a Bears flag in here. And it talks about, this is 2011. Yeah, so it gives the date of the actual game. I wonder if they could sell this. This flag, it was a giveaway. It's limited edition. It's just for that day. So if somebody wanted to kind of, I don't know if there's it was Sunday, September 25th, 2011, Soldier Field. I wonder what the outcome was of that game. I'm sure we probably won, right? I would hope. I don't know, maybe not. Probably shouldn't assume that, but again, I think this is really cool. It kind of showcases all the different, reading material that's happened. Some of this may have some continue to have some value, some nostalgia. These are all great books or reading material to kind of put on coffee tables for any sports fan. This is just such cool stuff. Being part of being a shareholder for the Green Bay Packers, to me, it's just the world's best fan club if you are a Packer fan. Or really, I'm surprised more sports teams haven't been able to do that. And maybe it's just because your money is essentially going right to an owner versus here, you're kind of part of, it's not really a nonprofit organization, but it kind of feels that way in a way. So with that is episode number 21, the book club. Journalist Scott's Book Club. Thanks so much for joining me on my reading journal, reading journal, if I can speak, where I haven't been doing books. And I promise, this next week, we're going to go back to books. So I promise next week will be a book. It'll be episode 22. So stay tuned. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.